Hey everyone, this is Donna Savage with Talk with Savage Desires, and I have with me tonight beautiful Trey Kearney, or should I say Coach Trey Turney? It's Coach Trey, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So Trey is an infidelity coach, but before we dig into all of that, Trey, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited about this.
Yes, I can't wait to dig in, like dig in. So your journey, Trey, why an infidelity coach?
Well, it all started because I committed adultery. I cheated on my husband about I don't lose track of time. It might have been 17 years ago, and my life just went crazy after that. And I just saw the devastation that infidelity causes families. I just saw what it did to my children. I just saw what it did to the man who I committed adultery with, his family, his wife's family, because he was married too. And I went on a journey once I got out of the situation and matured. I came through the journey, and when I got clear, I just wanted families and people to understand the devastation that infidelity causes. So I went on a journey of self discovery, self forgiveness, and then I felt like it was my purpose and my mission to help families heal from the devastation of infidelity.
Wow. I'm going to dig a little bit deeper before the whole infidelity. Was it something, did your husband cheated on you first, or it was just one of those things that's just that, were you thinking of it? Were you unhappy? What caused that?
That's an awesome question. And
Mm-hmm.
people often ask me, why did I cheat? Why do people cheat? It's people cheat because of a level of immaturity. I was an immature woman. I got married when I was 21. And this is not excuses. This is just to explain the process of why I did what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I got married when I was 21. I cheated when I was 31 or 32. And I wasn't getting the attention that I was, seeking at home. My ex-husband worked a lot. Great man, great provider. So it had nothing to do with him and everything to do with me. I was lonely. I was immature. I did not know how to communicate to my husband, and he was 9 years older than me, that I was lonely, that wanted attention rather than gifts. He was an awesome, awesome provider. When I tell you, I had a home with a pool, the spray thing on the sink. Girl, I'm from the hood. So I'm from the hood, so my mom, we moved around a lot. When you get the spray thing in your sink,
you,
I would
you went up, you went up, you
I
went
had
up a level.
to. And the reason why I cheated was because I was just immature and didn't know how to. One, I didn't know what I wanted. Right, I went into a marriage. I was with him when I was 18. Got married when I was 21. Two, I came from a very dysfunctional family where that was probably normal in our family and our family dynamic just growing up. And, like I said, three, I just did what I wanted to do because I learned that along my journey growing up that if it ain't working, you get what you need, and you're not thinking about everybody else.
Wow. So this is, why this is so astonishing me, and I really, one of the reasons, several reasons why I wanted to reach out to you is I was on the other spectrum. I was the other woman. You know
Wow.
what I mean? And I mean, since we, just like you, I was 18 when I'm 17 when I met my husband, got married, living together. By the time I'm 19, children, it came fast.
Mm-hmm.
It came fast, and you're like,
Yeah.
and because we never had that persons or people to speak to, because we live by example. That whoever we surround ourselves with,
Yep.
that's how you tend to live. And especially since your husband, a great provider, but he was absent, we're easier to fall back in old habits.
Yes.
So I get it. But you have to be in a mentality now of how did your husband find out about it, or you told him about it?
He found out. I don't know if you know about the two ways back in the day, the two-way pages they had back in the day. Well,
Two ways pages.
it was a two-way pager where you
Oh,
open.
pagers. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
two ways. They was popular back in the day, and it didn't have a lock on it. And I went out one day and I left it in my coat pocket, and it was vibrating, and he heard it, and there was so many messages in there. And he called me because I had my phone. And when he called me, I knew, because I started patting, like, where's my two-way? And then I picked the phone up. He said, I think you need to come back home. We need to talk.
Wow.
And I was like,
But that, you said it earlier. You said, sometimes we have to go through to know exactly what we need to do. So now you're an infidelity coach.
Yes.
So,
It was a hard, long, embarrassing road to go down. But the things that I've learned and the marriages that are really thriving from my pain, I know that my pain wasn't in vain. I know I have testimonials from couples who are together. I get messages all the time. I see the couples on Facebook, women who I didn't coach, who just followed me and said, "Thank you so much." They're still with their husband. They're like, "Thank you so much. I was listening to you." And back then, I don't know what I was saying. I was just healing. I was on Periscope.
hmm
I was just telling my story. I was just healing, like, yeah, hey. One morning I woke up, I said, "Good morning, welcome to Coffee with Tea," and I'm T. And I just started talking about my journey, and I had a radio show, and I had just got I had about 7,000 followers on Periscope, and women just started coming on, and I started sharing from the perspective of the side chick.
hmm
I started sharing from the perspective because the man that I left my husband for
he
cheated
was
on
married.
me. No, he left.
Oh, hold on. Okay, back up for a second. So the man
Okay.
you left your husband also cheated on you?
Yes, we moved in together. We
Mm-hmm.
got together. We both left home. We got
Mm-hmm.
together, we lived together. We were together for about, I think, 13 years. We have a child, son together, a 12-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And he cheated on me several times. And it broke me. What really broke me, what was devastating to me, what was more devastating to me, I should say, because it was devastating to me that he cheated on me after I brought my kids out of the house and left my marriage. And that was already a level of devastation for everybody. What was more devastating than him cheating on me was how I left my husband and his ex-wife. That devastated me when I said, "Oh my God, I left two people like this crying, balled up, hiding from their family, trying to explain where the
Mm.
husband, the wife at." And that devastated me to a level of it took me a long time to forgive myself because I was in a prison of guilt for many years until I actually really started doing the work on myself and then actually started doing the work of helping other people. It was therapeutic for me because I know the devastation and the pain that I caused my ex-husband and his ex-wife, and that is not at all who I am.
So what happened? How did you wake up out of that trance? Because when we are putting blame on self, we're in a total trance because we're taking blame. How and what wake you up out of that to start
What
taking counsel?
what woke me up was I just felt like I know this didn't happen for no reason. I know I didn't just go through all of this for no reason for me to just be left here suspended in midair or just living a terrible life. Because, like I said, that's not who I was. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not just going around hurting people. So I had to do a lot of self discovery of why would you think one, it's okay to cheat on your husband? And two, why would you think it's okay to sleep with somebody's husband? So I
Mm-hmm.
had to do a lot of work with I got my coach, Dr. DC Marshall, who came into my life at the right time. And she came into my life as a life coach because one day she asked me, what are you doing? And I just was like, I don't know. I'm just lost. It wasn't even for relationship wise. I just told her I'm lost. And she just told me one day, you need to locate yourself. And that just stuck with me. And I began to go on a journey with her. And what she taught me was I lacked life skills, right? You're not resilient. You don't know how to communicate. You don't, and it just taught me the things that I lacked within myself, which took me on a journey of growth. And that's when I began to realize, I have to forgive myself
Mm-hmm.
because you did not do this with ill intentions, right?
Mm-hmm.
People like, oh, you did not do this out of malice. You didn't do this to hurt you wasn't even thinking about his wife.
Mm-mm.
You weren't thinking about his wife. You weren't thinking about your kids.
It was just
You just was in
you.
the fog. So when I came through the fog, I was like, okay, somebody can learn something from this Trey. So that's what helped me to go on this journey. I just needed to discover who I was because I
Mm-hmm.
came from a very dysfunctional family. My mom had drug and alcohol issues. My mom cheated on my dad and had a baby with another man, my youngest brother. And this was normal for me. And when my mom and dad divorced, there was really like not a man in the house for a while. And then my stepfather came, and that was a toxic relationship. And there was a lot of chaos and confusion in my life as a young person. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
really going through therapy for that now. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even with a therapist all the time, but I'm going through therapy through the programs that I do. And I'm discovering things about myself now. The little girl in me that I had suppressed.
Mhm.
I have a show called the Woman to Woman show that we do on Tuesday nights. We'll do it tonight. But and I was like, wow, some of the stuff that we're talking about, it really is really bringing up some things in me that's going to be allow me to help
Other woman.
more people.
Mhm.
My intention was never to hurt anybody. So I was able to forgive myself because I said, Trey, you didn't go on this mission to hurt nobody. You wasn't like, well, my husband cheated on me, so I'm gonna be somebody else's wife, because I hear this from women. They're like,
Yes.
somebody did it to me. That
So I'm
wasn't
gonna
my
do it.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't my story. So I said, you didn't go out here to really hurt anybody. You just made a terrible choice. And I had to teach myself along my journey. I would say this to myself: you are not your biggest mistake. You are your better choices. So that's what got me from where I was to where I am now.
I really love the fact that number one, you acknowledge, and this is the thing, it starts from when we're kids and we're soaking up all these surrounding things. We're soaking it up, not realizing it was a detriment. And we have this thing called the subconscious mind that's just holding on to things. Sometimes someone will say, what's going on? And because of where we are and lack of communication, we literally have no idea why we do certain things.
Nope.
We
Learn.
literally don't know, you know. But until the minute, as you said, you got quiet and realizations and taking ownership is when you have that bell start ringing and you realize, you know what, this is the reason why I do these things. So now how do I fix it?
Right.
Now how do I fix it? And you're so right, because as a coach myself, as and you know what, I do well, I do amazing. I'm also healing through all of my courses and all of my classes and all my sessions, and
Yeah.
it makes us a better person. It's just like everything that we do, Trey. It's a learn. We never stop learning. And when people think about learning, they're probably thinking book wise and going to school, but it's life lessons.
Yes, and healing is a process.
It
Healing,
is a
it
process.
never ends. Every single day, something's going to show up from your past, and if you are not equipped with life skills, and I'm not talking about cooking and cleaning life skills, because people think
Hmm.
cooking and cleaning life skills that you have to know how to communicate. You have to know what type of communicator that you're dealing with, so you can't be manipulated. Like there's different life skills that we must know. We have to know how to be resilient and bounce back,
Hmm.
and not at the detriment of somebody else, right? There's a big difference of bouncing
Huge.
back and not being somebody's rebound or using somebody for your rebound, but being resilient and bouncing back because you have skills to bounce back. You have coping skills when tragedy strikes. You know what I'm saying? And
No, I do.
a lot of people just don't have these basic life skills.
Wow, this is some powerful lessons and conversations. So, Trey, can a woman tell or a man tell if their persons or their partners being is cheating on them?
I think that there are always signs if you're paying attention. A lot of times we can't tell or we don't know because life is happening to all of us on a daily basis. So we got kids, we got work, and if we don't have kids, we got responsibilities. We starting businesses. We got, the house is falling apart. My car is not working. We have all of this incoming noise, this incoming traffic. So we have to find a place if we're in a relationship to have still moments to check in not only with ourselves but with our spouse, with our mate, to say, is everything okay? What is this looking like for you? But life is happening, and the longer we're together, the less maintenance we do. Relationships require maintenance just like a car. And the older a car gets, what happens? The more maintenance it needs.
Needs.
The older a relationship gets, the more maintenance it needs. You need to check in, you need to look under the hood, you need to ask some questions. So I believe that if we're paying attention, we know.
We
And then
know.
there's some people who stick their head in the sand because they're getting something out of it, so they don't really want to know the truth.
Hmm.
Because once I know the truth, I have to do something about it. So if
Yeah.
I pretend like this is not happening to me, I'll just go on with my relationship. The people on the outside will think that it's all good. And that's another reason why we don't acknowledge the fact that we're going through things within a relationship, because we want to hold up this persona of couple
Uh,
goals. And that's just not healthy.
Yeah. So this is what I was going to say. So these women, and I mean, we're speaking to women directly. Okay. And you need to tell women to speak, because these are the things when you hold on to it as much as you're playing face or pretending everything is fine, it's hurting inside and it's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
cause damage.
Yes. It's only a matter of time before you're a pressure cooker.
Mhm.
Anytime you're stacking stuff on top of it, either it's gonna get so high that it's gonna topple over, or it's gonna get so compressed that it's gonna erupt. So,
Mhm.
so many men and women, but women for the sake
For
of tonight, are
mhm.
imploding. They are suffering on the inside when we all need somebody to talk to. We all need help. We are not super women.
To
I'm
show
sorry.
it's true, to show face. They
Right,
pretended to 'cause, I mean, you're not coming from old school where whatever happens in the house stays in the house,
right,
right?
right. Mhm.
So a lot of the women or age probably in the maybe I'm gonna let's put an age range. Let's say 45 and up.
Right.
Those are the ones that want to hold on to save face, right? So for women like that, what would be a message to them if they're going through something like this?
The message would be true to yourself because you deserve happiness. We all deserve happiness. And what's for you is for you. If it's a man, if it's a job, whatever what's for you is for you. Whatever you lose is not a loss because it wasn't for you in the first
First
place.
place.
Stop holding on to things because you think that's the best that you could get, especially if it is causing you hurt or harm or
Mhm.
danger, or it's compromising your joy. If you can't get past it to be happy, if it doesn't help fulfill you in any type of way, if it's just empty promises or just to have a body next to you, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to take a look at yourself in the mirror and say, what is it that I need to do so that I am whole? So I don't need anybody to fill holes in me, that I would allow them to treat me any kind of way but great. Folks don't get in my space no more, Donna, if they're not treating me great. I'm not saying I'm expecting people to be perfect, but it's some stuff that you're just not going to do because it shows me that you don't value me as a person, and I am valuable. I am high price.
Yes, you are a
I'm on
valuable woman.
on the shelf, girl. Okay, I'm on the shelf and I'm behind the glass. You know, the expensive stuff is high on the shelf or behind the glass. Like, right, you got somebody got to give you access to the good jewelry. Like we talking about the jewelry
Lock
that
on
is
the key.
out, so in case somebody walk out with it, we ain't gonna miss that $9. We talking about, diamonds and carats. I'm behind the glass. You have to
Oh,
have permission to touch me. You have to have permission to be in my space. And what women need to realize is you have authority over this. You can't tell somebody what to do, or you can't tell somebody how to behave, but you can keep people from having access to this because you have authority over you and your life. And if people are not doing what it is that they need to do to be in your space, you must protect your peace, take care of you, and send them packing.
how does a woman start that journey? That journey for because you so this is you have arrived. You're
Right.
behind that glass. You're arrived. For someone who has just started the journey and have no idea how to start, how does a woman start this journey? Because guess what? My man has cheated on me. I am hurt. I don't want to leave him. He's keeps saying that I'm going to be better. How do I get to the next level? How do I be that priceless, amazing superwoman that's behind the glass and said, you know what? I have arrived and this is what I want. How
Let me,
does someone get to that level, Trey?
y'all lean in real quick.
Yeah, we're leaning in, woman, lean in.
Y'all lean in. Get some help. Get some help. We
Get
can't do
some
this
help.
by ourselves, right? Because most of us are going through toxic relationships and unhealthy relationships because we have isolated ourselves to this person or to these people. Even if
Mm.
it's a toxic group of friends, we have isolated ourselves to them, or we have just that's just our circle, right? You need to get some help if you know that you are in a toxic relationship and you keep asking yourself, why do I keep allowing this to happen? Why can't I walk away? Why is this my 10th time with this man who has cheated on me with 20 women, had a baby outside of the marriage? Why am I still here? What is it? You need some help. You need therapy, coaching, the right people around you in the right mindset who will say, look, and this right here, this is a no judgment zone. I'm not judging you. I used to be you. But you need the right people around you to say, hey, Let's work through this. Like I tell my clients all the time, Donna, you might go back. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to ask you some valid questions of why you're doing this to yourself, right? And when you start talking to me and I realize there's something from childhood, I know that I need to connect you to a therapist, right? Because sometimes people tell me stuff, I was molested, or my father wasn't in my life, or whatever it is. If it's something so deep rooted from childhood, I am the coach to say, hey, we need to bring a therapist on the team because we building a team over here, right? You need a team. It's not one coach on a football team. It's not one
Yeah,
coach on basketball. It's a coach. It's an assistant coach. It is a physical therapist. We have to build teams around ourselves as successful women,
I
right? We're
agree.
so busy with Superman syndrome, Superwoman syndrome, and we got to do this and we got to do everything. No, we don't. We have to build a team and ask for help when we cannot get ourselves out of a mess. We have to have some women with us on our journey who will push us when we need to be pushed ahead and will pull us up when we fall down because we cannot do it alone. You are only, ladies, write this down because this going to help you. You are only as sick as your secrets.
Amen. Oh my God, that is, girl. That's the American neck turning. You're getting me so excited on all of this, but it's so true. And the thing about it is the resistance
Right.
of some of these women, and as you said, for tonight's program, we're addressing women because that's where I see so much hurt and pain and resistance.
The resistance is nobody wants to be alone.
E-
Because in
Exactly.
order to be alone, you have to face you. Nobody
But
wants to be alone in the quiet moments to think about stuff about themselves. You know what? You got to really look at yourself, Donna, when you're sitting by yourself for several months. You have to really start asking yourself some questions like, well, why am I by myself? Why are people separating themselves from me? What is it about me that I would go sleep with somebody's husband? What is it
mhm,
about me that I would do this? You have to take a real hard look in the mirror when you're by yourself. So we go from one relationship to the next. We bounce from one bed to the next to hide behind or hide, or should I say, hide under somebody so we don't have to face the reality of who we are. And once
that-
we get to a point of knowing that who we are is great,
that's where we need we
that's
need
it.
women to be. This is where we want them to be in a state of being uncomfortable with
Yes.
themselves. And and we have so much distraction. And so even when I was going through my marriage, quick synopsis, and I knew things was going on, and I knew and I knew and I knew instinct signs, and just like what you said, you get scared, you don't want to be alone, you have children, and then you have your exes or your ex-husband saying, who's going to want you with 4 children or 2 children or whatever amount of children that you have, and you start believing the hype, you start believing the noise because you believe in everything, because growing up, that little child has been injured in so many ways because whatever example that she's seen, and thought,
Mhm.
okay, it's the norm, and not realize that it is not the norm. So my distraction, Trey, was watching TV and on my phone consistently.
Mhm.
I was just saying the other day that my children didn't get the true, they got me, but they didn't get all of me.
Right. Oh, that's so good. Oh my.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right? And I
Precious
think, and
absent.
we weren't present. And I can tell you, and you know this, Stray, that it happens to many, 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 many children and women
Yep.
who went through that journey. They were not fully present for anything, even a simple conversation. You and I could be having a conversation, but my mind is somewhere else because I'm not present, because we're thinking of what happened last week or last night or what's going to be coming in the future.
That fear.
The,
We're not even able to be present for ourselves, much
thank
less
you.
children or a
Thank
man,
you.
because we go into relationships broken and carrying. You broken. You got a limp, and then you carrying baggage that or dragging
Yeah,
back.
so now you're bent over in pain.
You bent over, you limping, you broken, and you trying to be everything for everybody, which is making you nothing for no one.
Because you don't even know who you are.
No.
Number one, because no, you're your husband, you're your children, you're your friend, you're your parents. And then if I say to you, who are you? What is that you want? Oh, superficial stuff because they have no clue. So I really love how you dive into talking about that we need a cheerleading team or an army.
Yep.
If Trey can't do something, I have an army to help you.
Yep.
Or forget about the coaches for 2 seconds, but as an individual, if you're by yourself, you must have someone that you'll be able to go to. But Trey, in order for me to break my cycle, I had to go see a coach. I
Yeah.
had to,
Yes. You
you
have.
know? And
Mhm.
I remember maybe 5 or 6 years after my marriage, we were talking to a bunch of ladies, and they said, "Oh, so why did you get divorced? Tell me." So this is what happened, and da 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 da. And Trey, I start crying. After I just told everybody I forgave him and we're fine, we're friends, I start crying. I'm not even talking about tears running to the point like I can, crying. And one of the ladies looked at me. She said, "Donna, no, you haven't forgiven him." I said, "Yes, I have." She said, "No." I said, "Why did you say?" She said, "Crying." She said, I said, "It could be tears of joy." She said, "No, Donna, that's not tears of joy.
Mm-mm.
Not the way you were acting." And I had to be, the night I went home, and I had to be true to myself. Have I really forgiven him? No, I didn't.
Mm-mm. Nope.
I never did. And it's just so funny. You said it too. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Somebody told me about an NLP coach, and I went to see her.
Always. Always.
And my life changed after that.
Yeah, my
It
coach changed my life, and it wasn't even for what I thought I needed.
Thank you. Isn't that always the case though?
No, it's
Is
not. You'll be surprised
Yeah.
once you open yourself up to the idea of I need help.
Mhm.
The help shows up,
It
even if you don't know.
always,
Even if you don't know
always,
the help shows.
always. And you know what too? We were ready. We were ready. Because I remember sometimes somebody would say one thing and it would trigger me. It will trigger me and I have no idea why I'm triggered. But now I understand why I'm triggered. Because we talk about the whole subconscious mind, like it's holding on to so many memories that probably won't even remember. But it's one word, why is that bothering me? You're even asking yourself, why would I do that? I'm not malicious, but why? These questions. And I'm pretty sure when you start asking those questions, you have no idea the answers.
Right. You
But
don't.
as no, but the stronger you get, now the answers are coming.
Yep. So
Yeah.
we really have to just self-awareness is
Self
a
awareness.
skill. Self-awareness is a skill. If you are not aware of yourself, you cannot help yourself or anybody else, right? And
Mhm.
accountability was key for me, right? I need
Mhm.
to be really accountable for my actions, but first I had to figure out why I did what I did in
Mhm.
order for me to be accountable and to really have remorse for the right reasons.
Exactly.
Right? Sometimes people remorseful because they got caught. You know, you're not upset, you're not sorry because you did it, you sorry because you got caught.
Got caught. Yep.
I had to be clear on why I was remorseful. I had to be clear on why I did what I did. I had to be clear on who I was then and who I desired to become. Right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I had to figure out the journey. Where actually are you trying to go? It's like
Mhm.
a car with no navigation, no map. You just get in the car,
Nothing.
somebody give you an address.
Mhm.
You just wander around aimlessly. So I had to really figure out like where are you going and how are you going to get there? What is the game plan? What do you need to let go of? Who do you need to let go of? What do you need to hold on to? What skills do you need to develop? And it all took me getting aware of myself, of exactly who I wanted to be, right? And like you said before, outside of those titles, I'm a mother,
Mhm.
I'm an executive coach. I, you know what I'm saying? I'm a this,
Mhm.
I'm a that. No, those are just things that you do.
Mhm.
Those are just things, a gift from God to be somebody's mother. Who are you and what do you really want to do? What legacy do
Exactly.
you want to leave? What do you want to
Exactly.
say about you when they stand up at your funeral? Like these are the things that some of the questions we really have to ask ourselves. Like, where's this journey taking me? And why is it important for me to get to that destination? You know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
I listen, I could sit and
Amazing.
talk to you for hours, Tree, but I know you have your little man.
Yeah.
I could hear him, so it's okay. But before we go, I'm going to ask you one question. I get so excited about all of this, I forgot to even put the the banner at the bottom because I just dive right in. But before we end, just one more question. When in your coaching session, right? Are in your opinion, Does cheating affect men more or women?
It affects both, right? It
It
affects.
affect them both, but to what degree? I do you feel that men it affect them even more because more the ego part of it, or you think it's equal?
It's equal because we're all human beings. If I
Mhm.
shoot you in your leg, you gonna be shot. If I shoot a man in his leg, he gonna be shot. If I shoot you in your leg, you gonna bleed. It's gonna hurt.
Mhm.
If I shoot a man in his leg, it's gonna bleed. He gonna bleed and it's gonna hurt. If I cheat on a man, it's gonna hurt as bad as if a man cheats on me,
A
if his
woman.
heart is in it. Right? And
Mhm.
usually when it's a husband and a wife or even long-term relationships, both people's heart is in it. So it is equally painful for men. We deal with it differently. Men have egos.
Yes.
Of course, their ego makes them pretend like I don't hurt, I don't care about her. So what? It happened, and they with somebody else. But the reality of it is, their heart pumps the same as ours, and they bleed blood just like we do. And I've interviewed a lot of men, and they said we hurt just as bad as y'all do. Don't think just because we acting like we ain't hurt that we ain't hurt. So
Mhm.
it's equal. Cause and I say this all the time. No matter what the doctor says, it's a boy, it's a male. Men are human beings first.
Mhm. And it's you know what? And with that, I'm going to end. And I really loved how you summed that up. We all bleed the same blood, especially if we get shot. They just deal with it differently. I do love that. Trey, I'm going to hope that we can do a part two to this because,
Yeah,
you know what, I have so much questions I want to do, but I know you have to go. So I'm going to wrap this up. Coach Trey, thank you so much for joining me.
thank you.
Okay. So for those who are watching, this episode is about Coach Trey. She's an infidelity coach talking about her journey and why she cheated on her husband and the lessons that she has to learn. An amazing woman. I put her handle on here, and I'm also going to be adding it on every social media stream because if you're going through something infidelity, she'll be an amazing person to go to and talk to. She's shared amazing nuggets. I can't wait to speak to her again. So this is Donna Savage with Talk with Savage Desires. Please share and follow me on Instagram and YouTube. And yeah, type peace out from Coach Donna and peace out from Coach Trey.
Thank you
So
for
until
having me.
you're welcome. So until we see you again, bye.